evening and welcome to News 2. Here's what we have for this Thursday, March 8th edition. EDA hosts a Virgin Islands Economic Forum. Inter-Caribbean Airway coming to the Virgin Islands. And we reflect on Senator Ruby Margaret Rouse. This and more in today's news. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. I'm Leslie Comisiano, your host. We have a fantastic program scheduled for you this evening. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The Economic Development Commission held a public hearing at Niski Center on St. Thomas on Thursday, and before them was Margaritaville, who was asking for a full-time employment waiver. According to Margaritaville's attorney, George Dudley, the resort has between $17,000 and $23,000 worth of damage, which has left them with 147 out of the 288 rooms operational. According to EDC certificate, the resort is supposed to employ 126 full-time employees. At the moment, Margaritaville only employs 49 people. Margaritaville plans to ramp up employment in conjunction with property repairs. By January 2019, they would like to have 90 employees, and by the completion of construction in March 2019, they will have more employees than required.
As the resort reopens in August, and we hope expect to be employed by then, and as we add buildings, how many additional employees we expect to have, so that by the end of the waiver period, we'll be back to the full complement we're committed to under the
assisting the island's major employers with any help that we can give them at this time, considering everything they've been through, is essential. However, of course, getting people employed as soon as possible is of major importance. So many hotels are offline, and we know that there are limited flight loads coming to the territory right now. And so the ability to operate at full capacity is hampered for many of these hotels for quite some time. We have heard dates as far out as 2019 for the reopening of some of our hotels, which only indicates the major and severe damage that both Irma and Maria has left them with. Let's hope that we can get this issue resolved and Margaritaville can get back to hiring and keeping employed as many people as possible.
According to a media release by Inter-Caribbean Airways, the airline company has announced a new non-stop schedule service from Dominica to St. Lucia and Tortola, with one-stop connections via Tortola to St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. Martin, San Juan, Providenciales, and Santo Domingo. In the release, Inter-Caribbean stated that their customers can now make two-stop connections via Inter-Caribbean flights to Kingston and Nassau. The airline has expanded its schedule to new points throughout the Caribbean, connecting more of the Caribbean than any other Caribbean airline. According to the company's website, in 2013, after operating for 10 years as Air Turks and Caicos, the company rebranded from Air Turks and Caicos to Inter-Caribbean Airways to embrace new opportunities across the Caribbean. Also, Inter-Caribbean operates EMB 120, Twin Otter, and ERJ 145 aircrafts connecting the Turks and Caicos Islands, Antigua, the British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica, the Bahamas, St. Thomas and St. Croix, Dominica, St. Lucia, and St. Martin.
Extra added airlift to the territory is great news at this time. We've heard about Spirit Airline starting service in St. Croix. We've heard about Liat returning to St. Thomas, and now Inter-Caribbean Airways. This is very, very important, and it's going to help to jumpstart our economy, which needs much help at this time. Of course, Inter-Caribbean travel is a hallmark of Caribbean life. There are so many people that live in the territory that originally are from other islands within the Caribbean, and the ability to get back and forth between those islands is very important. So this is all very good news. We hope that our Caribbean brothers and sisters visit the territory as much as possible, making us a vacation spot in the future, and that folks can get back home and visit friends and relatives there as well. Thanks, Inter-Caribbean.
In observance of International Women's Day, which celebrates the social, economic, cultural, and political achievement of women, we reflect on Ruby Margaret Rouse. With more women vying for political office in the territory, Ruby Rouse is remembered as one of the first women to serve in the legislature of the Virgin Islands. After completing high school in January of 1943, Rouse joined the United States Army Women's Army Corps and became the unit's first Virgin Islander to do so. After her honorable discharge in 1963, Rouse returned to the Virgin Islands and became the first woman parole and probation officer on the island of St. Croix. Rouse served in the 13th, 14th, 16th, and 17th legislatures. In the 14th legislature, Rouse became the first woman elected as the president in 1981 to 1982. Concurrently, Rouse also became the first black woman to head a legislature in the United States. Ruby M. Rouse died in May of 1988 and was acknowledged and remembered for her years of service. In 2008, the Watergut Housing Complex was renamed the Ruby M. Rouse Housing Complex in her honor.
Senator Ruby Rouse is a name to be reckoned with, oftentimes portrayed, she was a very strong individual, very powerful lady, also the first female to run for governor of the Virgin Islands. She was certainly an individual that was a common household name when I was growing up and starting to pay attention to local news and politics. And she certainly will be remembered for the excellence that she commanded, the fact that she would not back down from a good argument, and she had a drill sergeant type mentality about her that oftentimes caused fear in her opponents whenever they opposed her on a particular policy matter. Senator Rouse will forever be embedded in the annals of Virgin Islands history with the many firsts, some of which you heard in the piece before, that she accomplished, including also being one of the first females to work at the Harvey Alumina plant on St. Croix as the head of the staff office there. So we salute Senator Ruby M. Rouse and all of her accomplishments. Stay tuned. We have weather coming up right now.
Good evening, Virgin Islands. I'm your AccuWeather meteorologist, Daji Aswad, and we don't have a lot going on in terms of our sky cover. We look at the satellite, not a lot of clouds out there across our area. Most of that wet weather is sitting well to the north of us and won't really be impacting us anytime soon. So we take a closer look. Once again, just a few clouds straying through the area, and that's going to continue into tonight. The bigger concern here, as we have been seeing for the past few days, is our marine conditions that will continue into tonight as well. So patchy clouds out there, cooling down to 73 and feeling sticky outside. Humidity is on the rise as we continue into tomorrow's forecast. Still feeling very humid here in St. John's with a high of 82 degrees, and into St. Thomas, the same type of weather, partial sunshine and feeling sticky all across our islands here into St. Croix as well with a high of 86 degrees. Partial sunshine, not a lot of moisture, not many systems coming into our particular region. As we head into your marine forecast, this is where we still have a small craft advisory in place. On the Atlantic side, waves are running 6 to 8 feet and on some occasions up to 10 feet. So definitely if you're in those smaller crafts, it's going to be very choppy and rough. And if you can stay indoors, off waters rather, you should do so. Winds are running out of the southeast 10 to 15 knots. And we see the winds, yes, they're a little gusty, but they're not extremely high. These are leftover swells from a system that was sitting to the north of us, bringing in those extra waves here. We also see those waves into the Caribbean side running 5 to 7 feet. And on the Caribbean side, we can see them go into 9 feet occasionally. So keep that in mind. Winds are coming out of the southeast 10 to 15 knots. And once again, small craft advisory for both the Atlantic and the Caribbean. As far as our extended forecast here, we are going to be calling for some showers as we head into your Saturday. Chances for showers will continue into early week. Temperatures not going to be changing much, but once again, that humidity is going to make it feel a lot stickier and warmer out there, but humidity will drop off as we get an easterly flow back into place. And I hope everyone has a good night, and once again, take your time on those waters.
Martial Arts Celebration Week started off in 2007 when one of the martial artists, Jimmy Dunn, from Art Denjutsu system, suggested that instead of a tournament or memorials for us to get together, that we get together and train together, work together, and that's when we started it. This year, since we couldn't do it, some of the masters who have been coming from New England are still came down and are training with our school. We will have a Saturday session at our dojo from 10 to 11:30, where we're going to teach either self-defense or weaponry, whatever someone would like to learn. Martial Arts Celebration Week will happen again the first week of March here on St. Croix. It goes from that Sunday, it goes through to the next Sunday.
Well, it's great to see that the martial artists in the territory are celebrating Martial Arts Week. We all know of the benefits that this art brings to individuals, such as fitness, discipline, and the ability, of course, to defend oneself. I'm a big fan of the arts myself, and I know that there are many in the community that are, so congratulations to all the artists in the territory.
According to the Virgin Islands Police Department, at or about 12:21 p.m., Mr. Junito Alamo Sr. was riding his motorbike, a Suzuki Hayabusa 1300, heading northbound on Patrick Sweeney Drive, Upper Love, by the Anglican Church, when a female driver operating a Chevy Cobalt 2006 turned in front of him, causing a collision and the death of Mr. Alamo. The victim was 47 years of age. The female driver, Carthy Francois, 24 years of age, was arrested for her vehicle homicide as she failed to yield right of way. Francois was given a $10,000 bail as per chart and remanded to the Grove Place Detention Center pending advice of rights.
This story really hits close to home, as I am a motorcycle rider myself, and I can tell you from personal experience, some of the drivers on the road are not aware of motorcycle riders and scooter riders and do not follow the rules of the road as they should. My advice is to be aware. Follow the rules of the road, no matter the time of day. Oftentimes it seems like people think because it's later on in the evening they can neglect the rules of the road. There are dire consequences. Unfortunately, this motorcyclist lost his life in this accident. We'll be interested to see how the justice system handles this particular case. But for everyone out there, please be safe. We have another story coming right up.
Visiting FEMA at facebook.com/FEMA US Virgin Islands provides hurricane survivors daily updates and resources to Federal Emergency Management Agency offers, such as outreach efforts on rebuilding and repair advice or hazard mitigation workshops for building officials, architects, engineers, and contractors. FEMA is offering free consultations and literature to help hurricane survivors rebuild their homes stronger and safer. Advisors are offering home improvement advice through Monday, March 12th from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Kmart in Frederickstead on St. Croix and Food Center on the east end of St. Thomas. Stay in touch with FEMA to monitor applications for assistance or follow up on determination letters at 1-800-621-3362 or visit disasterassistance.gov. Phone operators for FEMA are available from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days a week, and operators are available in Spanish and Haitian Creole.
The Small Business Administration's Office on Disaster Assistance remains in the Virgin Islands closing loans. To date, we have several loans approved, and if you are in receipt of a letter saying that your loan has been approved, you're basically waiting an appointment to close the loan, and we would encourage you to make sure that you contact our customer service center if you have questions or concerns about the date of your loan closing. The number to call is 800-659-2955. For those of you who have received letters of decline, we encourage you to appeal if you're interested in appealing that loan decision. The appeals process is pretty straightforward. You would look at the letter that you received. It gives a date, 6 months. You have up to 6 months from that date of the letter to appeal the loan decision. All you have to do is put in writing why you should be reconsidered for the loan. Things like how you may have overcome the barriers to that decision. Would like to remind small businesses and nonprofits that there is a disaster loan called economic injury disaster loans. Those loans are available to small businesses and nonprofits who may have lost working capital due to the storms. We encourage you to apply. The deadline is not until June 20th of 2018, so you have time, but we encourage you, if you are interested in that loan, to get your paperwork started, get your application started. The Small Business Development Centers are here on the island, are available to assist, but we encourage you to, if you did lose working capital, we encourage you to apply. Again, 800-659-2955 is the customer service number if you have questions. And also you can fill out the application online at disasterloans.sba.gov.
The USVI Department of Health is hosting a free specialty screening for infants and children born to mothers with Zika virus. We will be providing vision, hearing, and developmental screenings for children born to mothers with Zika. Screening will be conducted March 19th to the 23rd in St. Thomas and March 24th on St. Croix. Please call to make your appointment as soon as possible. 340-774-7477, extension 5647. That is 340-774-7477, extension 5647. Spread the word.
Make sure you take advantage of all these resources that are available. Just in case you didn't get a chance to get those numbers, the number for FEMA is 800-621-3362. Also, the number for the Small Business Administration is 800-659-2955. And finally, for the Department of Health for mothers and children needing screening for Zika, the number is 340-774-7477. We'll be taking a break and we'll be right back just after that. We have some important updates from the community about events that are coming up that you may just want to participate in. First off, we from Upstreet will be having a book signing this Saturday. It's going to be located at the Jarvis House. Author Dr. Marilyn Krieger has a brand new book, and that will be taking place from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. this Saturday, the 10th. Admission is free. Make sure you go and check out Dr. Krieger's new book on race relations in the Virgin Islands from 1970, a centennial perspective. Also, Get Fit Day will be taking place this Saturday. This event is for the YWCA USVI Girls and On the Go Inc. They're hosting this event at the Emile Griffith Park. It takes place this Saturday, the 10th, with a special guest, motivational speaker, 12-year-old Naeem King Na Hudson. Naeem King Na Hudson is internationally known for his motivational speaking ability. Also, the FCC chairman, Ajit Pai, is visiting the territory. He will be having meetings with Governor Kenneth Mapp. He's here to review the status of the communications restoration efforts after the 2017 hurricane season. That's going to be tomorrow, March 9th. Mr. Pai is the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission. And finally, National School Walkout will be taking place. This is on March 14th. Virgin Islands Montessori School will be participating, as well as schools on St. Croix, in this event that has been organized by the students of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas School, the scene of the last mass shooting in the United States. We had a chock full program with lots of information and updates. We're glad that you can join us this evening. Thank you for being a part of our program. We're signing off. Have a great Virgin Islands evening. I'm Leslie Camisiang. I'll see you tomorrow.